Commie days, and our friend, really? No, not really. Not anymore, anyway. We haven't talked in 15 years, and that's about 17 or so. I think Hannah was 3 years old. We we had not we had the last. I was invited to his this Tycoon's son's baptizement, and I thought he was already one of the richest, top 150. I don't remember at the time. Easy to find, but what's the point? One of the richest. In fact, not so easy to find. At one point, I thought, let's see how on the internet, where he's. You have to get the copy of the local Fortune 200. I don't know if they have 500. They may do now. I mean, they not a few billionaires, maybe 3 in all, as opposed to America, plus thousands, other places. Well, thousands, hundreds, anyway. But still, more people who have in excess of 5 million. I think 5 million or 10 million was the limit. So, and I thought, what kind of a gift do I have to bring? Do I have to bring a small car and not a small toy car? I don't know, a small Porsche. And then how about spending some thousands of dollars, I know, on clothes so that I don't disgrace myself. I don't feel embarrassed and humiliated. And so I said, well, I don't think we could go to this, who knows, fancy thing. The Snuggle was it. Anyway, so going back, I did this trick to him, I mentioned, and with Nikki and Nicole. Then paid back some debt somehow. Maybe when I called him and said, "Look, come to the Intercontinental Hotel because that's work very well paid." And he did some days work with Newsweek. I was working with Time. As a strange coincidence, I've met both Mike and Myers from Newsweek, and again I'm in Newsweek in connection with the revolution, because I was a hero of the revolution. That's why I think I should share this story with the world. It's just some strange, weird fun. But still, some of those people have a story, and it's not to be made in a series by Netflix, which incidentally does have good things. We're expecting The Crown, controversial as it is, and I understand it's about the royal family, but then the criticism is heavier now, because okay, you're inspired and then artistic license and all that, but don't make a different story. Don't say this is. We'll see, but they have failed. Like I was talking earlier about graveyard rats in the Guillermo del Toro series. I don't find that story is much better than mine. I'm just kidding. So Newsweek, Time didn't have much interest. I mean, they've been here for a few days, some money, good, but then they went away. I continued with Radio Sweden. He went off on another trajectory, which is good. I mean, in some ways, for him it was good. He didn't, like another fellow, Mihai Radu, didn't continue. Although for him that was a good life, and I changed his life. Mihai Radu. Let's mention it here and now, because I'm not going to make an episode for, or will I? Let's see. At this point, I'm hesitating. I'm thinking maybe I will not mention this. So let's just put the story in briefly, and if he comes back with a coverage with the working with newspapers, we'll see. So I met him in the in the subway train. We were both taking the same train, stayed in the same area, Dries or Titan, that side. And I knew him from Mate Physica 3 from high school, where at one point he was the first choice for goalkeeper for the football soccer team, and I was second. I was on the bench. He was better. He was 1 year. He is 1 year older, taller. I said, "Oh, you know what I'm doing? Not this one. I'm working at the hotel. You should come. Good money. They're paying $100 a day, and so people were making that much in a year, halfway. Anyway, so what do you mean? Crazy. And it went on like that. So I'm saying I'm inserting this here. Let's make it short, which is not my way. Alas. So no, yeah, kill. There was shooting. I'm talking Christmas in 1989. That terminal. Thinking of terrorists, they were speaking of 60,000 dead. It was a massive exaggeration. But anyway, you must be a fool, you're crazy. He comes, he works, we work in parallel. He's working with London Times, I'm working with Radio Sweden. In fact, Radio Sweden, again, after a few weeks, has no more interest. Well, they come again in summer, I work for a few days, but then no more. But the Times, and then some other, he finds this path, this venue to work with other newspapers, terminal outlets from Britain, and then he is a sort of a freelance, something, a contact. He's himself doing things, and I see him some years ago in a documentary made by Discovery Channel or one of those. and now, I mean, his life was changed by meeting me in the train, in the subway, when he said, no. And I said, yes. I have crazy money. So he came, he won, and for him, that was his career, and his job. Then there's a difference. I don't know if career, but it must be. Otherwise, they would fire him or start working with him. And he is a nice guy, because in each job, in each domain, you have a third of each. 3 possibilities. People who go for money, people who want to rise on the scales, and people who have a calling. And that's what we should look for. Because those who have a calling, the example is given in a hospital. There are doctors who go for the money and they're happier than those janitors who find the calling, terminal. They go there because they think this hospital and it needs to be clean, and then they go in rooms and talk to the patients and others, and they find joy in doing this. They interact and so on. Now, coming back and wrapping up to continue again and again with Daniel. So that was one thing. Then we had a bit of a clash over how much should be paid for the things, deodorant, what have you, so much. So perfume brought from Germany, I think. So he brought things for him, which he would resell through consignatsia shops, and some things for us in a sort of an initial trade we were doing. And that was some friction. But then he moved into food, all sorts of things, and then wine. And when he was bringing wine to restaurants, I remember on Titulescu at one point, he brought in his car, and I brought mine, which has an adventure. I thought I'm going to speak about this today, but it's postponed for tomorrow. That's why I'm hosting a previous episode. It's not Netflix you have here. You have just silly old stories. So maybe tomorrow about that car and more with the wine and so on.